What's good, Bolt fam? It's your host, Booga Peters. I'm joined by our Monday co-host, Burt Grossman. Couldn't be happier than to have you here right now, sir. We kind of promised the Chargers fans, the Bolt fam out there, a little bit of an inside look in the locker room, and I'm not sure that there's anybody better that we've ever had on the show that could kind of provide that type of insight other than you, sir. Tell us a little bit about the machinations between the offense and the defense, position groups, and what it looks like inside that locker room.
First off, why do you still play that old disco intro song?
Come on, man, it's my favorite.
Every time I hear it, I'm like, I need to get an 8-ball of Coke, some cognac, and Clams Casino or something, and be some bad bar. It's like bad porn music background.
You can smell the cigarette smoke.
I wish, yeah. All right, the dynamic in the locker room. You know what? It's usually blocked off. Not always, but it's usually offense, defense, and even position groups more together. They do mix it up, but I think it's San Diego was offense on one side and defense on the other, but it was a small locker room back then. It has its advantages, it has its disadvantages. I remember the Eagles, my locker was next to Refrigerator Perry. So when he would take his pants off, he'd bend over in front of me, which was horrid. That's when you're like, oh, we're broken up by position. Great. But it wasn't bad in San Diego. But then when I went there and had to sit next to him, and every day that same site, I'd time it out to go get treatment or just leave when he came in knowing he's going to start taking his pants off. And then bend over and his ass would be right in my face.
I mean, that's something you'd have to plan for sure. Wow.
After it happens once, trust me, you plan for it. Yeah, there's no procrastination in that one.
My God. So when you see a head coach like Jim Harbaugh, that type of command that he has in the locker room, he's got him singing, he's a jolly good fellow.
Mm-hmm.
What does he have to do to command a locker room like that? And how many teams have you been around where they're singing old-timey fucking songs?
Yeah, he's a little different. I mean, he was a player. Obviously, everybody knew him. I don't know if you know. I don't know if I brought it up here before, but his dad was assistant coach for me at Pitt, assistant head coach, and his brother was a GA. So I've known Jim since college days, probably. Then I coached his son when he was in high school, Jay, who's with the Seattle Seahawks now, because Jim lived here forever with USD. So he's always been that way. He's always been a little quirky, but I mean, he's genuine. He doesn't fake it. He doesn't have to be anything. He does what he says, and he's all business. So I don't think you have to sell anybody over. You just be yourself, and if you're legit and you're they'll follow you. I mean, if you're, again, we talked about Mike McDaniels, great offensive mind, but he's just not the guy people are going to follow, and he'll never be a head coach, no matter how great his offenses are. He'll never be a head coach or a good head coach because he doesn't have the personality for it.
No, and that's what makes him perfect to have a guy like Harbaugh as his leader. We're talking about the locker room, obviously, and Jim Harbaugh, Mike McDaniel, probably going to be the weirdest press conferences ever. I'm kind of excited to see how that plays out. McDaniel's going to obviously have a completely different offensive scheme compared to Greg Roman, who is now a member of the New York Giants for whatever reason under John Harbaugh, the brother there.
And I'll give you an example. When I was with the Eagles, we had Rich Kotite, who wasn't the greatest coach of all time by any stretch of the imagination. But the locker room got divided because half the team thought Bubby Brister should be the starting quarterback, and half the team thought Randall Cunningham should be the starting quarterback, as if that's even a decision. But it came down that way, and we went from being 8-1 to just have to win one more game in our last 8 games, losing all 8 because he couldn't hold it together.
But so I'm glad you brought that up. That's crazy. Bubby Brister and his mom in the stands. Oh, yeah. Bubby. I'm so tired. I remember. And him against Randall, give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
No, but I get it, though. It's weird, though, how the locker room, it's a perfect example of what we started at the top of the show with. The locker room is just a different place than people expect. Some guys back one guy and other guys back the other guy. And Bubby versus Randall Cunningham is not something I ever had on any bingo card ever.
And a lot of it was, and then a lot of it, if you're a coach, you have. I mean, the problem with the Eagles wasn't Bubby or Randall; it was the staff, pretty much. And they all got fired, and then he went to the Jets, got fired after a year. So it was really the staff that was the problem there. It wasn't either player; they could have been successful with either one or bad with either one, but it was due to the coaching staff. But they never take coaches, I don't care if it's even now. They never, take responsibility. It's always somebody else's fault. So it was no different back then.
Rich Kotite literally is on record all the time trying to pass the buck to everybody else. Y'all had a doozy in how he got the Jets job. Weird. Like, really
It's
odd.
the Jets.
That shit.
It's the Jets. What do you expect?
Well, they just wanted anybody.
You see how I'm doing this joke
as I'm sick just for you?
I know. And by the way, he is actually sick. We talked about a pre-show. I can't believe you're here, but I'm so thankful that you are. Amari and Hampton in a Mike McDaniel offense. We watched what Devon Achane did. We watched Raheem Mostert lead the NFL in rushing touchdowns. You don't have to be a 4-2 guy as a running back in this offense, but Hampton looks like he's about to have a big year. Your thoughts?
I'd agree with that. And I don't think it was anything to do with the offense last year. I think it's the same with Herbert. It's the offensive line. I mean, it's not – usually if you can't pass block, you can't run block either, especially in the NFL. And they couldn't. And it was no different than Saquon Barkley. I mean, everybody thought he was washed at the Giants just because their offensive line was horrible. And that was the farthest thing from the truth. So I don't think – there's only one running back I've ever seen, and that's Barry Sanders, that can still do something when there's not an offensive line. But he's one of one. There's nobody else if you go back. It's never been that way. You need an offensive line.
He's why I wore 20 in high school, and people give me shit. You're a Chargers fan. Well, Barry Sanders is still my favorite player of all time, but I'm glad you kind of broke that down. In a Greg Roman offense, running backs caught hardly any passes. You can expect something completely different in a Mike McDaniel offense. Amari and Hampton in North Carolina proved he was a very viable option in the backfield. He's going to get that done and churn through that. How much does that also kind of hinge on the fact that they really need Kamani Vidal to get signed off that exclusive rights free agent deal and then be that running back too?
Yeah, I don't know if I agree much as Hampton being out of the backfield. I mean, you kind of like want a Sproles guy or a Christian McCaffrey guy, like just in space, in that little space where you can just make anything happen. You're just stretching it out for the running back to make it. It's really a sweep, but you're just stretching it out, throwing it out there. Because, everybody talks about go vertical, but nobody talks about controlling the game horizontally, from sideline to sideline. And that's really what it's for. But I don't know if he's that guy that's quick, make the first guy miss all the time. That those other guys, there's Ronnie Harmon back in the day, same thing. But or Danny Woodhead, I can go on about those guys that do it, but they like you said, they always have a runner and then they have a complimentary third down guy. It doesn't matter. And I'm just Sproles and LT, you're never going to see again. But if I die here, just call 911. I'll send you stuff.
I promise. Please don't.
Man.
That would be a weird, full circle moment. You had a chicken give birth on a show of ours way back in the day. If you die, we can't do that. We can't.
All right, I know you're not supposed to use the word retard. Chickens don't give birth. The eggs hatch.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You know what I'm trying to say. It was the weirdest thing that's ever happened on any show I've ever been on.
If you give me 1 second, I'm going to get a glass of water real quick.
Yeah, I got you.
What's that?
I'll tell you what you do that. Take your time, man. Here's my expectation when it comes to Amari and Hampton. If he's healthy and they actually improve the interior of the offensive line, I see no reason why Amari and Hampton won't be a top 5 rusher. And when it comes to running backs receiving out of the backfield, regardless of what Burt thinks, I think Hampton has a great chance to be in the top 7 to 10 of that category as well. He proved that at North Carolina. He doesn't have the best hands, but he's effective enough. And he's somebody that I can see not only making an impact in the running game, but also as a receiver out of the backfield. And if you weren't paying attention, anytime he had to pick up somebody in pass pro, he was flooring dudes. Not just big dudes or little dudes or everybody in between. Him as a defender for the quarterback in 10 and Justin Herbert is somebody that fans can trust. Welcome back.
Thanks. I was dying there for a second.
Well, don't do that. Like I said, sorry. I know chickens can give birth. Sorry, I was just trying to get it out there.
And I know what you're saying, and I don't even know if it's possible anymore, but to have 2 great backs on one team, I don't think you could do it anymore with the salary cap. But when I was playing with Chargers, we had to go, and it would be Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson were both on the Raiders. I mean, you can't do that anymore with the salary cap. I mean, even they had like Todd McNair and Christian Okoye at Chiefs. We had Ronnie Harmon and Marion Butts. I mean, you had that where you could complement each other, but that was before the salary cap. I don't think you can do that anymore.
Yeah, you just said. By the way, every time you bring up Ronnie Harmon and Marion Butt, all the old school fans are going crazy.
Or Natron. Yeah, same thing on Natron. I mean, all of them. But you could have two backs that were really good on the same squad because there was no salary cap. But now you just can't do it.
Well, not ones that are going to compete at the same exact level, especially. Thank you, Kegley. Dave is dying harder. I am dying harder than Burt ever will. He has his glass of water now, and he's fine. Hey, Kegley, are we echoing on your end, or is it just me? And I'll wait to hear from him. Burt, well, I kind of picked on you a little bit, saying I think that Omari and Hampton will be just fine in the receiving game. But we talk about rear backs. Again, you had Marion Butts, Ronnie Harmon. Ronnie Harmon was like the old school Keenan in that he was always that third down converter.
And we had, and even to go back again, we had Natron and Eric Bieniemy. I mean, you always had this 1-2 punch thing.
Well, and as much as you can in today's league, you want that. You don't find it as often as you'd like to, just like you mentioned. Coach Harbaugh, I know that you're a fan of him, and I couldn't help but, all right, everybody's saying I hear the echo. Son of a bitch. That's my favorite.
It's not just you.
No, it's definitely not just me. I'm not sure why it's happening. There, for whatever reason, and you're not going to have it on your phone. There's an echo cancellation thing. But we'll keep this short and sweet here, just like me.
It's not from your. You sure it's not from your Section 8 studio? Look like you're at like a flea market or a swap meet. You just set up. I'm at a card show, and I'm going to go to this ghetto vendor, and I'm going to do a podcast from inside his booth.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No, I'm. You really got me. You really got me. Oh, there's some crooked bookshelves behind.
Yeah, like what is that? It's IKEA.
Makeshift basement studio. That was one of the funniest things.
You got wood paneling behind there or no?
There's some at some point. Over here. Oh my God. Yeah, everybody's having too much fun. So we're gonna sort out the sound problems and issues here in the Section 8 studio with paneling. Burt, this is my pleasure. Apologize to your wife for the last one running over. We'll figure out the sound issues. Folks, this has been BoltBlitz Uncut. I'm Booga Peter, and here's to the echo in the Section 8 studio. Can you hear me now?